Welcome back to this Big Fun Friday. I'm Amy Jacobson. John Anthony in for Dan Proft, and you're wearing your shades. Tell people why.
Because I can't sing, but I got to look cool doing it. That's why. Baby, let's go, baby. Let's go, let's go.
Okay. Lots to get to, so let's just welcome back to the program Ed Morrissey, senior editor for hotair.com. Hello, friend. How are you?
Well, good morning. Merry Christmas to both of you.
Yeah, thank you. And I wanted to start with some audio. So we found out that 54 emails have been uncovered between then Vice President Biden and Hunter's business associates, some of them aligning with his trip to Ukraine, believe it or not. But this was Biden just a few weeks ago.
Can you explain to the Americans, amid this impeachment inquiry, why you interacted with so many of your son and brother's foreign business associates?
I'm not going to comment on that. I did not, and it's just a bunch of lies.
You didn't interact with many of their business associates?
I did not. There's lies.
So Ed Morrissey seems like he's the lie is unraveling, right?
Well, I mean, color me shocked. Joe Biden lied? Joe Biden didn't tell the truth about his history? What a shock. I'm stunned.
I know. It's crazy, but I know it's an impeachment inquiry, but is there any chance the Senate might wake up? Because this could be a good chance to actually get him out of office and bring in some fresh air.
Well, I mean, I don't think the Senate's going to have anything to do with that. I mean, it's got to start with the House. The House has got to impeach before the Senate can remove.
Right.
And so, I mean, I don't know that we're even going to be within the next few months of that. I do think, though, that Democrats might be thinking very, very hard about what they want to do about 2024. The problem is that their options are very limited, and really the only realistic option would be to put Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket. That's the only way that they could prevent a complete meltdown within their party, and I don't think they want to do that.
Well, Ed Morrissey, it is so bad that even Charlemagne the God, do you know who he is?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Well, he's coming out.
The point is, we don't need Biden to beat Donald Trump. See, the facts are, Biden's not getting any younger. He's not going to get any more popular, and he's not getting a new running mate. So please, Mr. President, give America the ultimate Christmas gift and step aside.
I mean, if more Black Americans come up forward and start squawking the same or singing the same song, do you think that will get to him?
No, I mean, again, I think part of this is that the Democrats don't have a lot of other options because of Kamala Harris being right square in the middle of this. Kamala Harris, just recently was telling Lawrence O'Donnell that this is the most election of our lifetime.
I know. I don't even know what that meant. That was a bunch of gobbledygook.
Well, I think she meant to say the most important election of our lifetime, but she didn't. She wasn't even aware enough to self-correct because certainly, we're on the air a lot. Amy, John, me, we're on the air a lot. If we misstate something, we just say, "Oh, gee, what I meant to say was most important election," et cetera, et cetera. She didn't even hear it go by, and Lawrence O'Donnell was sitting there on that camera going, "Do I say something?" She's not good at this, and she proved that during the 2019 cycle when she couldn't even get she couldn't even get to Iowa before her campaign collapsed. So they don't want to run Kamala. I'm sure they don't want to run Kamala, but she is making it very clear that she's not going to step aside. And if it's not her, and especially if it turns out to be Gavin Newsom, there's going to be a huge problem with Black Democrats, with woke Democrats. They were promised her as the next thing coming, and they're not going to let the Democrats off the hook for it.
All right. Now, why has there been no appetite to find, well, we know who the staffer is who was having sex with somebody else in the Senate chamber hearing. That's where, historical moments have taken place where Supreme Court justices have been confirmed, Sonia Sotomayor, Amy Coney Barrett, to name a few. Bareback Twinkie Slut is his name on TikTok, I do believe. And he worked for Senator Cardin. And Senator Cardin, they finally approached him and said, "Are you cooperating with Capitol Police on this?"
Did your office booked the room at the time?
I don't know the details.
Yeah, how did he get in there?
I don't know the details.
What was this stuff like?
My knowledge of this was over the weekend when I learned about it. Made sure that he was separated, so he left the Senate employment, and that the appropriate steps were taken from point of view of our office.
Did he exhibit any unusual behavior while he was working in the office?
Yeah, he sure did.
Did you know him very well, or?
I would have to ask. These are personnel issues, and I would not be the right person. I just not going to get into personnel issues.
Do you think there will be criminal charges pressed?
I'm not going to get into personnel investigation issues.
But your office is what, cooperating with the Capitol Police on this? And have they contacted you to look into this?
They haven't contacted me, but I'd have to check to see if someone in my office was contacted.
Oh, it's just a staffer.
I mean, it was so bad that NBC News even blamed conservative media for reporting on the story.
Oh, right.
Instead of going after this despicable, disgusting behavior, because they videotaped it for the world to see, and he's wearing some G-string. I mean, it's so perverse. And I thought the Bidens were going to bring dignity back and decency back to Washington, D.C., where you have that. Then you have cocaine in the White House, and then you have a dog that bit 11 people.
Jeez.
Decency. It's on the ballot. Decency.
Yeah, right.
It'll be on the ballot in 2024 too, people. So bear this in mind. But I don't know what to say about that Senate scandal. It is so weird. It is so strange. I can't even believe that somebody would be arrogant enough to do that, and then to have the unmitigated gall to stand up and say, well, the only reason that people are criticizing me is because of whom I choose to love. And it's like, no, it's where you choose to love.
Right, exactly.
If it's been in your apartment or your house or a hotel room, nobody would have cared. And if you hadn't put it on video and sent it around, nobody would have cared. I mean, it's like this woman who ran for office in Virginia, right, for the state, I think it was the House of Delegates, who, with her husband, was doing pornography, selling it online, doing it live.
Yeah,
live
fans
video.
only. Yep.
Yeah, and then had the temerity when it came out to say that she had been the subject of revenge porn, that people were exposing things that weren't meant to be exposed. She was selling it online. It's amazing, and then to have the media swallow that because it's different when it's a D.
That's true.
And that's what's happening here too. It's amazing to me, and I'm sorry that Ben Cardin's going through that, but Ben Cardin's the guy who hired him. So
Ben Cardin's 80 and he's on the way out, but
right.
At least he didn't seem to take this seriously when he was confronted by reporters. I mean, just come out and say, I had no idea how he got in there. But who knows how many times he's done this? This is just the time that he got caught. This sacred place that has cameras everywhere. I just it's
I mean, it's amazing
turns
to me.
my
I
stomach.
mean, it's just the impunity. It's the impunity of it that turns my stomach.
Yeah, he should be arrested in Capitol Police.
Absolutely.
They know who he is. They know where he lives. He's not a victim in all of this. Just do what you need to do.
I agree.
This is the first I'm hearing of this story.
You never saw
I
it?
did not.
You didn't see the video?
I'm not watching gay porn. No,
It's pretty. I mean,
John, I gotta tell you, this was
bad.
the subject of a brief but intense editorial discussion on our site, and I finally said, "Well, look, you can link to. I think it was the Daily Caller that we saw it on Thursday, so you can link there, but don't embed the video. I don't want that on hot air." I hear you, but this was.
And I've been on a sabbatical for the last month, so I'm just coming.
Maybe you're blessed.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't
went
see
on
that.
sabbatical.
I think you are. Welcome back.
Thank you. But I want to turn. There's actually two questions I have here for you. First of all, I want your take on what happened in Colorado with the Supreme Court, and we've been sitting here. There's CNN on the station here, and they've been talking about Trump pressuring the Michigan officials with Ronna McDaniel and things of that nature. I still don't. I don't see
in Wayne County.
Right in Wayne County in Michigan. I don't see a crime there. I would love to see. Show me the tapes of what happened in 2016 when Hillary and her team felt like the election was stolen by Russia, right? So Supreme Court first, and then your take on Trump pressuring the Wayne County official canvassers in Wayne County, Michigan.
Well, I'll start with the Wayne County thing. I'm not. I don't have the details on that, and I haven't been on a sabbatical, so I have no excuse, John. So I apologize for that. I don't really have the details on that, but I mean, one of the reasons why you don't have your candidate interacting at that level is to keep that type of it's basically a safety measure, right? It's the
Yeah.
reason why you hire people to do
Lawyers.
whatever it is that you're going to do. So I think that they're just as a general basis, there shouldn't really have been any direct contact between the candidate and the canvassers in that instance. Not that it's illegal, but
Right.
it's just from a strategy perspective, I think it was a poor decision. Now I'll look into that and see what else I can figure out about that, but I have no idea, whether that crosses a line. The Colorado thing is very easy. This is an un-American decision that is turning the courts into star chambers to select preferred candidates in a way that's not all that dissimilar from the way the Iranians do it when they do elections. They have their own little courts of theocrats that decide which candidates are acceptable and which aren't, and the ones that aren't don't get on the ballot. And it is un-American to declare somebody criminally guilty without actually having charged them with the crime, having presented a case in court, and allowing that person to defend themselves in court in front of a jury of their peers. I mean, this is black letter constitutional law. It's Article 3, Section 2, and also the Fifth Amendment. You can't be found guilty of a crime. And insurrection is a crime. It's codified that way by Congress. You can't be found guilty of a crime without having a trial in front of a jury.
Correct.
And that's what Colorado did. They just decided that he was guilty because they didn't like him.
Right.
And they can pretty it up all they want with their flowery language in the decision, but that's flat out what they did. And even Democrats are saying you can't do that.
And I think they totally bypassed the 14th Amendment and the due process clause aspect of the 14th
that's the
Amendment.
irony, right?
Yeah, just went right past it. And then they said I read the brief, and then they said that they would the Congress would not have to pass that. I forget the name of that supplemental bill, the bill that they would have to pass to keep Trump from off the ballot. In the briefing, it says that they wouldn't have to do that because their decision would mute that point. I mean, really? Who are these people? I'll tell you who these people are. They're the next U.S. Supreme Court U.S. Supreme Court pick by some very left. See, this is what they do.
You rub my back, I'll rub yours.
Yeah, but this is what they do. See, these type of people make these type of decisions. So future use, when they're ready to use them for something, they don't have to articulate what they need them to do because they already know how these people think and how they act. Am I right or wrong with that, Ed?
No, I think it's a great point. And I'd say even Joe Biden might pick one of them if another Supreme Court opening comes up. But and I'd also say anybody who's in the sixth justice majority at the moment is probably rethinking any ideas of retirement over the next 4 years based on what's coming out of Colorado. It's a ridiculous decision. Dean Phillips, who's a Minnesota congressman who's running against Biden in the primary, blasted it. Robert F. Kennedy blasted it. There's other Democrats that are saying this is not the way it's done in the United States. It opens up a huge can of worms if this stands. Yeah. And the Supreme Court is going to strike this down. The only question I have is it going to be 9-0, 8-1, or 6-3?
Yeah, Ketanji's going to vote against it.
Yeah. I was at a cocktail party with friends this week, and they were saying, "Oh, it's going to get overturned 9-0, overturned 9-0," and I was going 8-1.
Yeah.
8-1.
That's where you're going with 8-1?
Yeah.
I'm going 9-0.
8-1.
You're doing 8-1
I think
too?
Katanji's going to vote.
Well, California wants to do it now. New York's thinking about it. Maine's thinking about it too. Yes.
I wonder if Illinois. We should have talked to Marty if Illinois is going to do it.
Zip it.
We missed that.
Okay, Ed Morrissey, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much. You're always insightful and a pleasure to converse with, and have a wonderful Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you both, and Merry Christmas to all of your audience. Thank you so much.
Ed Morrissey, senior editor for hotair.com, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
The Answer.
Napleton Mazda of Naperville would like to invite you to come in for a test drive during the Season of Inspiration event going on now through the end of the month. Take advantage of remarkable savings like 0% APR financing for 60 months on a brand new 2024 Mazda CX-5. Save on over 700 new Mazdas at Napleton Mazda of Naperville and NapervilleMazda.com. Offer to qualified buyers through Mazda Financial Services. 0% APR equals $16.67 per $1,000 finance. Expires 12/31/23.
Paid actor portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it